Well folks, here we are. We're going to do some shooting today. Hopefully we can catch you some. We brought just a couple of things to fish with here. As you know, and you watch these shows before, we bring more junk than we need most of the time. We're probably a little bit early to throw a very big swim bait because the fish have just got done spawning here and they're probably garden fry. But we feel like we'll find some fish sulling around. We'll throw a few different baits and talk to you about technique and stuff like that. But here's the baits we got, and I think we'll make it. We might need some more stuff we don't have, but I doubt it. I think Don's probably ready, and I know I am. Let's go catch some fish. Folks, what we've been doing is kind of moving around and changing our baits, trying to get some bites. The fish are garden fry, and there's probably still some nesting, so it's not a perfect time for a swim bait bite. But what we've been throwing, this is a 1/2 ounce jackhammer with a 4.5 inch Jerky J swim on it, and it's produced 2 fish already, and we just switched back to it hoping to get some more bites. We'll keep trying. Like I say, it's a little bit early for a swim bait bite, but we've had 4 or 5 bites, so you know we're in the right place doing the right thing. It's just going to take us a while to key in on some fish. We've got an algae bloom and a bunch of naiad here, which is a real slimy, a lot of people call it pond scum. There's some of the stem of it there. And what we're doing, the bass seem to be, whether they're in 2 foot of water or 7 foot of water, they seem to be right at the edge of the naiad. So what we're doing is we're just covering a lot of, property on the bank here, trying to get those fish to hit. And we've had pretty good luck. I think we've had 6 bites all of a sudden. And so we're going to continue what we're doing. And as you can see in the video, they're quality fish. But what's worked best is a shallow water swim bait application with a jackhammer, and also with a thunder cricket. That bigger thunder cricket I was throwing earlier and caught that first fish on is a 3/4 ounce with a 5 inch rat tail Jerky J on it, and works out pretty good. We'll go back out to the deeper water. We're trying to see if we can find some of these late spawners and some of these nest garters. A nest garter here is going to weigh about 3 pounds, so we'll be tickled to death with those. Oh, there's one with him. There's one about 5 pounds. This is a big fish. This is a big fish right here. Don't hit you. He's one step from having it in his stomach. I mean, one step. We're going to switch to a 3/8 swim jig here with a Rage Menace trailer. There's a little point up here that I hope the naiad's not growing on. hit it when it hit the water. Ain't not 3 foot of slot. Look at that. That's not your jig. Who's your daddy? Oh,
good job.
Ooh. Golly, that fish will weigh 4 1/4. Yeah. Fish are right at the edge of the naiad. You could throw that thunder cricket or that jackhammer with the Kitech on it, but you can't get it through the naiad and let it fall. So what you had to do to catch them was get something you still get some stringy naiad on there. But what we're doing is, now that the sun's up, we can see the naiad line, and we're just casting to it. Where this morning we were trying to fish it, and the fish weren't cooperating. But now they seem to have gotten, sun's high, probably about 10 o'clock, I'd guess, and they got up next to that naiad, and we saw fry this morning from spawning fish. Haven't seen any fry, but it doesn't really make any difference. These fish are about 5 or 6 foot deep. We're sitting in 14. They're about 5 or 6 foot deep, and we're just throwing right at the edge of it. And as you can see, we're having pretty good luck. Maybe this is him. Oh, that never missed a meal either. Like a lamprey or something got a hold of him. Well, folks, I hope you've enjoyed what you saw today. We've had a ball out here. You know, we had to make some changes. We came out here to do a swim bait show, and what we noticed right off is it looked like the fish were done spawning, and I feel like they'd been done spawning quicker than they were, and there were still some fish up there in the garden fry. When we saw the fry early, we actually got a couple of topwater bites. You'll see that footage. And we started out with the 1/2 ounce jackhammer with a jerky swim on it, shallow, right over the naiad, and the fish were coming up out of the naiad to get it. And as the day went on, we also caught them on a 3/4 ounce thunder cricket with a jerky J on there in Sexy Shad. And what happened was the fish quit guarding the fry and went out to the edge of the naiad and got in about 4 or 5 foot of water. Well, we couldn't get the swim baits or the blade jigs past the naiad and drop it right there, so we had to go to something where we could actually feel the naiad. And when we threw up there and we felt the naiad, we quit, you know, we next cast we'd throw a little closer to us. And those fish were laying out there, and probably 5, 7 foot is probably the deepest fish that we caught. But we had them laying out at the edge of that. And the swim jig, of course, if you watch many of the shows, everybody knows I throw a croc-a-gator zapper. And you can tell Dalton's dad had that one right there. There's not much paint left on that one. So you can tell how they ate it up. And it's got a Baby Rage Menace on the back of it. And why do I like this jig? This jig was designed on Lake of the Ozarks to come through cover. But it's a swim jig. So you can fish it like a swim jig and swim it. And then if you get out off the bank and you need to come over something, you won't hang it. It's got a real good guard, a real good hook, the kind of hook that you don't have to drive. Really and truthfully, I set the hook hard, but you don't have to set the hook that hard. You just need to get your rod up and get on the fish. Now this particular jig is a blue craw with a hard candy trailer, and we've penciled just a little bit of the tail with chartreuse. Really looks like a bluegill, and they're keying on that right now. The bluegill are spawning, and the other one's an old standard 3/8 black and blue, same thing. We're throwing 17-pound, 100% Berkeley fluorocarbon. This is a 735 Dobbins Champion XP, and this is a 7-to-1 STX Revo. Perfect combinations for this. I figured a long time ago, if it's good enough for Brian Thrift, it's good enough for Ron Lappin, and that's what Brian uses all the time. But we've got all this stuff in the store. We wish we could have thrown more swim baits to show you that. This swim bait fishing is something that's going to be coming in the next few weeks. Hopefully our fish will move out of the coves and out on the drops, and if that happens, swim bait will be king, I promise you. Man, we thank you so much for watching us. Don't forget, in your neighborhood, there's a child that has no way of going fishing if you don't take them. And I promise you, if you'll take the time to take a child fishing, it'll do two things. It'll reinstate in you what you know about fishing because you're showing somebody else. And not only that, when that child learns how to fish, I promise you, they'll never be addicted to anything else but fishing. And we sure appreciate you watching us at the store. We want to be your outdoor store, so come in and see us. We'll help you any way we can. We'll put line on your reels. Well, anything we got to do to get your business, we'll do it. Here's some of the fine fish we caught. I think we caught a total of 14 fish, if my count was right. But I can't be held accountable. I'm not very good at math, but I think 14 fish is what we caught. And this is some of the quality. So we appreciate you watching us. Join us next time on Kentucky Lake Outdoors.